Welcome to the Ben Daniel Podcast, where we're calling a spade. Great to be here with you guys today. Caitlin Clark versus Paige Bueckers, going head-to-head for the first time in the WNBA, was one of the most highly anticipated matchups heading in to the 2025 season. Unfortunately, due to Caitlin Clark's groin injury, we were robbed of that moment. Caitlin Clark missed the game with a groin injury that continues to linger, that continues to nag. She will be missing tonight's Las Vegas ACES game. Have no fear, the venue will still be open. Without Caitlin Clark, the Indiana Fever faithful, they showed up. The Caitlin Clark supporters, they showed up. Despite the absence, last Friday's Fever Wings WNBA regular season game averaged 1.14 million viewers on ION, the network's most watched game of the season, and 7th most watched since acquiring the rights. Indiana's win, W baby, come with me, which peaked with 1.5 million in the 9:30 p.m. quarter hour, trails only 6 game windows last season, all of which featured Caitlin Clark. Some of you guys might be curious, what were those 6 games? Well, that's why I'm the ratings guy. No? Indiana Fever at the Chicago Sky, 1.6 million views last year, along with Indiana Fever versus the Phoenix Mercury, that gave you 1.34. Minnesota Lynx versus the Indiana Fever at 1.26. Phoenix Mercury at the Indiana Fever at 1.22. Indiana Fever and the Atlanta Dream at 1.18. And then the Indiana Fever against the Washington Mystics, they averaged 1.023, but they peaked at a higher quarter-hour number than the game I previously mentioned against the Dallas Wings. The following game, let me just touch on this real quick before I move on to the following game. The first time the Indiana Fever are on ION without Caitlin Clark, Sun Fever, 851,000 views on ION Friday night. At that time, a May 30th game, it was the network's largest audience of the season and a 119% increase over a comparable window last year. At that time, it was the most peaked quarter hour for the network that season and the largest ever on a game that did not feature Caitlin Clark. Moving along to this game peaked at 1.5. This game averaged 1.14. Now, a point I want to bring up to you, what do we think Caitlin Clark's debut on ION is going to bring us this year when it happens? Now we're actually building up hype for some viewers at home, for some of the casuals that want to watch Caitlin Clark. Now there's actually a waiting period, a hype period that people are going to be waiting. Is Caitlin Clark playing? Is Caitlin Clark playing? No, not many people turned it off, as we're seeing from the ratings, but some people turned it off. Some people chose not to view it. Some people chose not to get ma, pa, grandpa, mama, all the people that they have to sit down and watch the games. Caitlin Clark has yet to make an appearance on ION this year, and I'm expecting it to be a 1.5 million viewed game when that debut occurs. If we're pulling numbers 1.14 without Caitlin Clark, just based off the CC effect alone, when she shows up, it's going to be something monumental. Now, the game averaged 1.14 million views, but there was a game that took place not far after that. Mercury versus the Liberty, following the Indiana Fever game, averaged 610,000 viewers. About 500,000 people turned it off. 500,000 people. It's bedtime. It's bedtime. I got something to do. I got something else to do. WNBA games on ION are now averaging 541,000 viewers for the season, on par last year, despite Clark having played in none of the network's game windows. Very interesting. There was another game that took place on Sunday, I believe, that we do have the ratings available to us. ACES versus Mercury on NBA TV. They gave us 230,000 viewers on a Sunday night on NBA TV. Without Caitlin Clark, the Las Vegas Aces aren't much of a draw, especially on NBA TV. The one thing I will say, A'ja Wilson's million-viewed game last year without Caitlin Clark in the regular season was a Chicago Sky game. So not only does she need Caitlin Clark, it appears she needs Angel Reese too. to get the ratings that are somewhat respectable. It is what it is. But like I told you, the venue is open tonight. Las Vegas Aces versus the Indiana Fever. Do we get our lick back? We were beating the Las Vegas Aces majority of that game, and we had another last 14-minute collapse that got them back into the game. A'ja Wilson, she got going after an abysmal first half. Wilson got going, and they chopped away, and they eventually took the lead. Will we get that win back? Caitlin Clark's not going to be playing tonight. She played in last game. Is Stephanie White going to make any adjustments? Is the athleticism of Erin McDonald going to make an impact seeing her in the starting lineup? We don't have Dantas. Doesn't matter. She didn't get any playing minutes last time anyway. Because remember, Stephanie White went to Brianna Turner because she was a better matchup going up against A'ja Wilson. But something has changed since the last time we've seen the Las Vegas Aces. Michaela Timpson has been getting some quality minutes on the floor. Do we get to see A'ja Wilson and Michaela Timpson go head-to-head tonight? NaLyssa Smith. We got to see NaLyssa Smith come back to Gainesbridge Fieldhouse as well. Are we giving her a standing ovation? Is there going to be some type of package for NaLyssa Smith when she makes her return to Indiana tonight? This isn't a game that we should lose, right? This is still a winnable game for the Indiana Fever. I believe that. We shouldn't just roll over and die against the Las Vegas Aces, especially with how we played against the Minnesota Lynx. The Lynx didn't shoot well, but our defense, for the most part, held up pretty nicely. We need to carry that momentum going into tonight's game. Our defense needs to continue to hold up. Sydney Colson needs to put pressure on the ball. Erin McDonald needs to put pressure on the ball and pressure on the defense. Getting into the paint, forcing them to collapse. Kicking it out to their shooters, whether it's to Sophie Cunningham waiting. Sophie Cunningham, she shot, 3 for 5 last night? The other game again from the three-point line. She broke out of that slump. Lexi Hull, she looked good the other night against the Minnesota Lynx. 2 for 3 from the three-point line. So whether we're driving, penetrating, kicking it out to Lexi Hull, kicking it out to Sophie Cunningham, doing a dump-off to Aaliyah Boston, hopefully Aaliyah Boston gets going early. Hopefully we feed it to her early, get going early, get the offense established. I want to see her put her shoulder in A'ja Wilson's chest the same way I saw her put her shoulder in Nafisa Collier's chest. I know AB is just bigger than most of the ladies out on the floor. She needs to use that to her advantage and start being physical out there so they're not just playing her softly. Kelsey Mitchell, well, Kelsey Mitchell's going to show up. Are we going to get 6 for 16 Kelsey Mitch? Or are we going to get 7 for 13 Money Mitch, put him in a ditch? Are we going to get 5 for 15 Kelsey Mitch? Or are we going to get 8 for 11 Kelsey Mitch, put him in a ditch? If this game isn't a slow down, knockdown, drag out game to where we're holding the Aces to 65 points and under, our offense is going to need to get going. But most importantly, let's keep that winning streak going. When Michaela Timpson gets 10 or more minutes, all I know is the Indiana Fever are undefeated. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. I appreciate all of the support. Don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed and subscribe to the channel. That would mean so much to me. We'll see you next time, and as always, take it easy.